lighting is so bad on here. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I like to say that a lot anyway. Because I always feel that there's something more important than often what we're talking about. So, but this is the most important thing. I mean, I guess that depends on perspective. I think it's important for people to recognize the most significant thing affecting their present and future. And I just don't know how anybody cannot see that as the most important thing to talk about. I think that they're crazy for not addressing that, like making it. They're like, okay, wait a minute, are things really as bad as they are? And once we come to a majority, or even a substantial amount, in facing the reality of our situation, it'll definitely like catch on. And I think what a lot of people are afraid of is that that if they, I don't know, man, what the fuck are you afraid of, man? Like, how can you be afraid of the truth about your fucking future? It is happening. It's happening. It's undeniable. It's happening everywhere. Everything they said was going to happen is happening right now. You know, this cold weather, this cold spring, is a result of something. They can literally see the fucking the vortex no longer drawing and pulling up that cold air to the north like a normal annual reaction. It has gone off in the past, but it is not working. Our fucking our air conditioner on this planet is kaput. Okay, the fucking refrigerator is broken. Okay, and it's the excessive warming that we have been fucking talking about for the last fucking 30 years. You know, and they've known before, like something like a fucking 100 years ago, they knew that we would that we could overheat the planet with enough carbon dioxide. What? You know, like how can we not see that this was coming? You know, and now that we're here, we can't close our mind to what's really happening. You know, we can't pretend it's not happening, and we can't pretend to consciously allow for what's going to happen. Like, you know, these motherfuckers are in charge, and they're holding the ship together, but it's at our expense. You know what I mean? They're throwing us into the fucking fire to keep it going. You know what I mean? Like to keep this thing. You know, it's our bodies that they're sticking in the cracks in the hull. You know, and they have always held it together that way. You know, everything's at our expense, and if it hasn't happened to you, it's because you're privileged, man. And Judgment Day's here. Like fuck, it's like biblical. You know, we're there now. Like the planet is going to like this ice-free Arctic. You know, the fucking methane bursts. The methane bursts are happening right now and it's not even summer yet. You know, think about it. You know, it's heating up fast there, right? And like, you know, by the time July hits, fuck, man, the heat's going to be incredible. And you know, like how quickly a fucking glass of ice water melts in the sun. It's incredible, you know, and the ice is thinner, and there's less of it, and it's not like blue ice, you know. Like I remember knowing the difference. My dad would tell me that about the safety of ice on a lake. was the amount of blue ice, the cold ice. It becomes like so compressed, and it's not easy to melt that ice, right? And there's less and less of that. And what's refreezing every year is not the same ice, right? It's like a shitty ice, you know, because the planet is warming, you know, and so I wonder when are people going to start really talking the conversation? Like, okay, like we keep sharing this stuff, but it's not being understood by people. Like they're like, whoa, wow, that's crazy, man. Wow, fuck, you know, like, but I mean, even me, like, it's hard to accept, you know, it's even harder to not be able to talk to the people that you love and tell them just how fucking bad it is, because I'm still coming off as an alarmist, you know, and fuck, up until the last minute, I mean, it's like, wow, imagine, and I've been trying to write this play about called The Titanic Earth, and it's about this guy running around the ship saying, you know, we've hit an iceberg and we're going to fucking sink. And then people just doubted that so much that they just doubted it because nothing was really happening, right? It didn't start to become obvious right away. But then all of a sudden, you know, the ship started to tilt, you know, and people started to question it, you know, and it's the same thing with this. Hello. I'm just shooting a little video. It's not live though. I can edit anything out. So anyway, so yeah, like, so he's running around the ship trying to warn everybody, and they just think he's an alarmist, and you know, I'm feeling like that. Yet there's so much truth, you know, out there, and nobody's listening to the scientists. And I mean, these guys have to realize that, you know, they're the ones that are going to have to make the first step. They need to all get together, all scientists that are you know, open to the truth of our situation, need to get together, and they need to call all the truthers out there, people that are and you know, we need to lay the truth out there in a meaningful way, just to say this is our situation. Like, you cannot. They need to walk into Parliament. Into Parliament with everybody. We need to fucking make a march like that. And it can't be, you know, it can't be our jobs that stop us from going to that march. You know, it can't be any of that, because all of that is worth nothing compared to the truth, you know, like of the situation where we're truly in. And if you know, if we all have something to do to do whatever we can do to bring the best outcome, but you can't expect people to pay their fucking debts when they're going to be dead in a year or two. You know what I mean? So that has to end. We have to change what we're doing, and we have to first, you know, make the call to follow the truth of our situation, to demand no more fucking of this nonsense of selling us shit and fucking consuming stuff and being burdened by debt. We got to focus on the highest food production yield we can. Everybody's got to be on this food production distribution system, and we have to be as creative in developing our groups that can form a grid that will actually be sustainable to that demographic. But this has to be done systematically across the globe, and it's possible. It's possible, but we can't. It's the scientists and the artists that are going to have to get together and like storm the White House, storm Parliament, and basically say, okay, this is where we're at. This is the truth of our situation, and this is what we need to do to go from there. And all technology, all sciences and resources need to all be applied to that. That's a different one. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I got to say about that.